discovered that they're doing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and rumble
like,
seats.
They missed you, and it rumbles.
Yeah, I went to go see it there.
I don't understand that. Like it's a 2 hour long movie, and you're gonna be in a 4D rumble seats for the whole fucking thing. That sounds like a nightmare.
Right, that's a 15-minute ride at Universal.
Yes,
right?
it's fun. It's fun because, you know, the Bugs Life ride where everything's shaking and it smells like farts, and it's 10 minutes and you're out of there. I can't imagine.
It's amazing.
Well, what's funny is that actually that was actually a very popular thing for full-length movies back in the 60s.
Right.
And William Castle used to do this thing where you would go to see The House on Haunted Hill, and he'd be in the back with spiders, and he would individually throw them on everyone in the audience.
Nick, that's not the same thing.
No,
Mellow-vision.
Yeah, no, but it is, because he would miss you, and you would fucking scratch and sniff.
So what you're describing, you're gonna these are people that developed an advanced hydraulic system that they installed in the floor of this theater,
No.
and you're comparing some dude releasing spiders
the
as
genesis,
the same thing.
The genesis of it.
The spirit is the same.
It's great. It's actually fun. I highly recommend it. It's only $30. No,
Jesus.
it's actually very fun because they don't rumble the whole time.
Is it actually $30?
It was like $20.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
okay.
it was worth it though. They spray shit in your face. There's a part where the
Wonderful.
plane lands and they like give mist like you're in a plane landing, and whenever bullets go off,
they shoot you.
Yeah,
they shoot a random member of the audience.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
There was so I went with a friend of mine, and it was kind of a joke, but our enjoyment by the end was extremely sincere.
Absolutely. How can you ironically enjoy car smashing? It's like, this
It was
is great.
so fun.
That was when I saw Fate of the Furious, my only wish was like, I wish I was damp. I wish that I was damp throughout this whole movie.
Yeah. Well, so it rumbles around, and so it goes crazy during, of course, the usual car chases. But the best rumble moment was when they were hacking, and he's like, presses enter, and the seat rumbles.
I'm in.
He's like, he's coding an
I backed it to the
ass moving algorithm.
That's my I love your impression of a '90s hacker, Isaac.
I'm in.
That's always it.
It's a real hit at parties.
He's also wearing fishnets right now.
I just walk into the room in a party. I'm just like, I'm in. And everyone's like, it's the hacker.
He said the thing.
Isaac has just a bunch of V for Vendetta masks in his room.
Hell yes. Hell yes, dude. I was on the anonymous page on Facebook earlier. They were dropping some fucking hot knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What a shitty movie to base your entire ideology off of.
And hackers.
V for Vendetta. It's not even the best Wachowski
V for
movie.
Vendetta.
Yeah. They didn't direct it, though. They just produced it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And there's no way, that's not like what the ideology. I saw one, Anonymous shared the, look at what chicken nuggets are really made of video. It's like, they've gone beyond to parody now. Now they've become like your aunt at this point.
Your aunt
sure.
is anonymous. She
Like
might be.
things move faster on the internet, so it makes sense that like things age faster on the internet. So
Yeah.
Anonymous went from like the cool dude like posting Watchmen memes to like, oh, you see what Obama's up to?
It's literally like, what if I told you we've had a cure for cancer for 10 years?
Yeah.
I miss when Anonymous, like, they were like a part of politics, right? For like a little bit or whatever. They
Sure.
were like hack shit. But then they also be like, Kanye sucks. Like, you fucking dorks.
They were half Edward Snowden, half TMZ.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it was really. They're kind of, but Anonymous is one of those things where like anyone can use the name. So there's tons of meme pages out there that are just like anonymousnews.co.
Right.
This is not
Pole News Network just got banned from Twitter, unfortunately.
really.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's terrible.
Too alt-right, I guess. I just had followed them, so
Yeah.
sad day for me.
I follow quite a few like right-wing accounts on Twitter
love
just to
it.
like keep it fresh,
Me
just
too.
to see what's going on.
They also post funny memes sometimes.
They do. Anyone who's at like Nazis are still not funny. It's like, no, Nazis are kind of hilarious,
always
dude.
been
Like, they've
hilarious.
always been really mean and funny.
Fucking sick as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the
Every
idea.
time, like,
Also, this is the difference between the right and the far left. They have they use the Pepe, which is hilarious. We had a fucking paperclip. Ugh.
Yeah,
oh my God.
man.
Pepe was a funny ass frog. Politics aside.
Well, the-
Paperclip.
It's-
I
it
don't
was-
even think anyone remembers that. It happened like 6 months ago, and it's already like one of those things.
yeah, I just listened to like a Pete Holmes podcast where he talked for 20 minutes about how great the paperclip was. So that's why it's in my
Christ.
mind. It's just like it makes everyone feel safe when you have a paperclip. Like,
To be clear, we're talking about Clippy, the Microsoft
Yeah.
paperclip.
Whenever you got the
Became an
paperclip near
icon
you.
of the left. On,
If I don't know how to save ass, I know who to turn to.
it looks like you're trying to save the country. Would you like some help with that?
we must go forward and talk to Paperclip Clippy. He's there when you need him.
If you need to know how to convert to PDF, he is available.
I always changed him. I always changed Clippy to the little claymation Albert Einstein guy. Did you,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you
Oh,
ever
no,
do that?
I never.
I did that or the dog.
Is that the Satan thing where the claymation mask melts into the ground? No, that's
That's Mark Twain.
Yeah, Mark Twain.
The main thing I remember about having a PC is playing Mario is Missing. Do you guys remember that?
Absolutely.
Mario typing. I had Mario typing.
Yeah.
Mario's Missing, I thought it was going to be a fun-ass Luigi game, but it tried to make me learn shit.
Oh yeah.
Bad as hell, dude.
Fuck you, Luigi.
Yeah, there was like
Fuck them both, dude.
But yeah, no, you know what? It's not Mario's fault. He was missing. He was MIA, and Luigi takes over the.
He forgot how to do
takes
everything.
The reins, and he's like, "Let's make it educational." This is why Luigi doesn't get ahead in this world. They give him another shot like 15 years later, and he's like, "Let's make it the vacuum game." It's like
We're
fucking-
clean. It's like, God damn it. He's the only one involved in this project trying to make America's youth like better. It's like, oh, take responsibility and
Yeah.
learn things.
Do you think Luigi watches InfoWars?
It's
Of course he does.
Luigi listens to Will Smith.
Oh, here I feel a character coming up.
While Mario's off having adventures, Luigi's like, that's a pretty interesting.
Come at the ping pong.
You think a Bowser's bad? Wait till you hear about the globalists.
Having sex with a Koopa, in bed with a Koopa.
There it is.
Folks, I've been scouting out Bohemian Koopa Castle.
Oh my god.
Tell you what-
There is some intense shit going on in the bowels of World 8.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Reasonable Beef. I am Tim E. Kish. I am joined today by, who's here?
I'm Robbie Goodwin.
He's my guest,
Television's
Robbie
Robbie Goodwin.
And Dom is still a Tribeca. So joining in today is Nick
Hi guys.
and another guy. Who's this?
Isaac. I'm Isaac. I live in the house.
That's Isaac Hirsch. He's been a guest as well.
Man, how'd Tim book this podcast?
It's fun. Yeah, what are the odds? The three
This is how
people
we're
I
telling
see the
Robbie
most
he's
in the
moving
world.
into us.
Yeah, so welcome to Reasonable Beef, everyone. Thank you so much for downloading and listening to this. There's nothing really out this weekend, to be perfectly honest, but 20 years ago, might be today, actually, a movie, a character was birthed into this world, and it was a bomb. The movie that he was in didn't do well, but
It didn't?
no, did terrible.
Well, that didn't do terrible. It just did okay.
But I don't even think it did it slightly
It
over
made
budget.
its money in
Made its
DVD
money back.
sales. We were, of course, talking about Austin Powers,
Yeah.
1997 classic film with Mike Myers. This movie is extremely fucking funny.
It's great.
It's really
movie.
funny. It's become one of those things that's so ubiquitous with douchebag culture.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
a Borat.
Yeah.
It is one of these things
Maybe
that
worse
just,
than
you
Borat
can't
even.
enjoy it. Yeah, I think it may be worse than Borat. It's very tough to take yourself out of it, but once you do, this movie is an extremely clever parody of the 60s culture in general. It's great. It's a very
Totally.
funny movie.
I thought that I didn't like Austin Powers for a myriad of reasons, but I did like it. I thought it was funny. I will say that Austin Powers, Mike Myers' character Austin Powers, is already like a guy at a party doing an impression of Austin Powers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a outrageous character.
It's a meta character. Like he winks to the camera a lot.
Right.
He's like mugging. You know, it's like it's a meta character. It's like supposed to be ridiculous. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What? Yeah. So I actually have a long the first comedy movie that I probably saw and got obsessed with was Goldmember. I saw Goldmember before the other two.
Really?
Good God.
Yeah, and I've probably seen Goldmember like 20 times because I had the DVD at home and I just watched it over and over again. So
Sure.
I'm a huge, I love Austin Powers, but I agree with you. It's like, it's hard to be sincerely like it. And especially in like LA comedy, I guess. Cause people are like,
Yeah,
oh, you
everything.
fuck-
Yeah, 6 layers of irony on
Yeah.
every goddamn thing.
I think one time I mentioned it was funny to like Jay Weingarten and he just did about 30 minutes riffing on how dumb it was.
Right.
that I said I
Because
liked
now
it.
we've reached the 6th layer of irony where it's now we do Austin Powers bits ironically but somewhat enjoying it at the same time. Like
Right.
comedy is in such a weird spot right now where
Yep.
it's like you can't just look at this and enjoy it for the physicality of Mike Myers and the character
Right.
work that he's doing. Like take Austin Powers out of the cultural mindset and just see that this is a great character that he's playing, just like a silly, well
sure.
developed character. The issue with Mike Myers, I think, is that he does like 5 things maybe
Yeah.
total. Love Guru happened and then nothing. Have we seen Mike Myers in anything recently?
He might be doing the Gong Show.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be hosting the Gong Show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's the new host of the Gong.
And nobody will admit it. It's a big secret.
Yeah,
for
it's a
some
huge
reason.
secret. Yeah, they're couching it like he's a 76-year-old comedian because he's gonna be in character doing like.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
like
an old British comedian.
yeah.
So is that like his brand now, which is like 60s, 70s pseudo nostalgia? Is that like who he is as a person? Hollywood Reporter put out a great oral
I read
history
that.
article. Yeah,
That
I
was
think
great.
We all just kind of found it because this is fascinating. Of course, I want to know more. And
Yeah.
this is just something that was incredibly important to him. He didn't think this would sell. This is just all shit that him and his dad vibed on. That being said, it's like some of the most significant boomer culture imagery around. So I kind of doubt the validity of that story, but like. I do believe that this is something that was really special to Mike Myers. I do believe that he really loved this character in this project.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would be inclined to believe the validity of that because it's not like at times it's such a weirdly specific parody
Totally.
of like 60s spy films for 1997.
Right.
That it does feel like a passion
But
project.
I mean, we talk about this story of artists who embellish the beginnings of a project.
Right, yeah.
Where they talk about Miyamoto when talking about Mario, like I saw a small mushroom and was wandering along the forest floor. It's like you're full of shit, dude. Like, you wanted to create a character to sell video games. Like just
Right.
be real about it.
I wanted to be a racist against Italians.
He's named after our landlord because he always wants a coin.
Oh, that's right. He said that. He said that Mario was based off like his landlord.
Yeah,
like
their
in
landlord
Donkey
at
Kong.
the time, I guess he was always.
Good God.
One time,
Oh, Nintendo, you're late on rent again.
an Italian man killed my pet turtle and stole my girlfriend.
Let's talk about this in the context of the other two movies, because I think that that's kind of important. This is much more of a straightforward parody of
Yes.
60s things, and I
Yes.
think it actually has something to say. I mean, he even has that great monologue at the end where he talks about the sexual revolution, where
Right.
Dr. Evil says, like, well, you guys lost. Like, that was a bad idea.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
said, had we known the consequences of our sexuality, we would have done things differently, but the idea would have remained.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's such like a poignant and intelligent point that's hidden deep inside
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Austin
yeah.
fucking Powers.
It really
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere too.
Yeah,
I don't
and
even remember that speech at all. I'm just like, oh, that's nice.
Sure.
It's funny, yeah. It is kind of like it's kind of like the same theme as the Big Lebowski in a weird way, where it's like the bums lost or whatever, like the hippies lost. What I noticed about the first one as opposed to the other two, I think the second one's the funniest, but the first one is like the one that most closely resembles a real movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
the second and third ones are just cartoons.
Absolutely.
They're like sketches,
catchphrase
kind of.
machines as
Yeah,
well. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Mini-Me is...
Although
Fat
so funny.
bastard.
Nick and I both had
Yeah.
been saying that like everything we thought was in Austin Powers 1 is in Austin
in the
Powers
second
2.
Yeah, no, yeah. Mini-Me is in the second. Yeah.
I thought that like he got fed up with Scott in the first act, and was, like then they made Mini-Me, and I was like, oh, I guess, and Fat Bastard's not in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
All the gags I thought were in 1 or in 2.
Yeah, no, all the peak Austin Powers quoting came around when the second one came out, I think.
Absolutely. But I think people were just still entertained by these characters, I guess, at that point. I mean, because it's hard to take... I mean, we're going to come back to this point a million times, but it's hard to take the characters of Austin Powers and Dr. Evil out as not ubiquitous characters. But Dr. Evil is hilarious.
He's great.
Yeah.
Like the whole monologue where he's with his son and he's like when I was insolent, I was put in a burlap sack and beat. Like that whole long.
Luge
my father-
lessons, yeah.
Because my
like
father claimed he
luge
invented the
lessons.
question mark.
I had a typical childhood, luge lessons.
the best. I want to tell you a story about a man who was named Shh. That's
Yeah.
the fucking funny. My favorite. God damn, there's so much in that. There was so much
And
shit.
even you doing that, something deep in my head activates and goes cringe.
Really?
Yeah.
Deep there, and I'm just like,
Well, I didn't do- I
just
didn't do a good
because
job.
everyone's
Yeah.
douche uncle has done this so
Yeah.
many times. It's hard
It
to go
sucks
back
because it's
and
not
enjoy
that
it.
movie's fault. But it's like
It's-
not.
it's not.
It's like that's the problem with that's why comedy's the worst genre.
I think, but that '90s comedies, I think, because I feel like the audiences of famous comedians ruined like Jim Carrey. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Right.
I think they kind of
Oh,
caused
I
him to
don't know.
implode towards the end of the '90s. He's also a crazy person, but I think
I love
just-
Jim Carrey, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, it is a thing of like, somebody stop me.
Right.
It's like corny, but at the time that was funny. Yeah.
I think you got to make comedies that aren't quotable at all. That's
Yeah,
that's
it's
the real
serious- yes.
solution.
That's really it. Like if you want your comedy to do well in the short the short run, you get a nice catchphrase, you get some characters that you could sell merchandise of, but then it just becomes so nauseating after a while.
Yeah, I mean,
It is funny though, because like I feel like that's something that doesn't happen anymore. Because I remember specifically with Austin Powers, my uncle and this kid on the bus. Like we had this kid who was allowed to see Austin Powers when we were in elementary school. I wasn't allowed to see it.
me neither.
And he would just sit in the back of the bus for like 3 weeks and regale us.
Oh my God.
just like doing scenes from the movie. And I'd beg him because I couldn't. I would beg him to like do the Dr. Evil speech. I'd beg him to do all that stuff.
You're literally describing like early Italian theater, like commedia dell'arte and like vaudeville. Of they would learn the stories and they would perform to all the
about
children.
the Dr. Evil.
Well, if you really want to cringe, because I wasn't allowed to see it, my parents got me an Austin Powers Mad Lib to like appease me, and I filled him in. And I reread this thing so much that it became real to me. It was the closest that I could get. And my uncle came into town for like Christmas, and he had just seen it, and he was doing the thing where he was quoting the movie, and I would just chime in with what I thought was the movie, but it was just my dumb. I'm like, yeah, remember the part when Dr. Evil chased the monkey around the family fair? Wasn't that the greatest? Until all my relatives just kind of got quieter and quieter, and were just looking at me.
I think Austin Powers was the first movie I had on DVD. We got it in 1998 when it came out. Right. And the DVD player was like $1,500. I remember my dad is notorious for buying dumb shit that we can't afford. And he did it with the DVD player, and it was amazing. Like, I had never seen something that clear before. I remember seeing the DVD for the first time.
Yeah.
Then it came in the latch boxes, New Line Cinema.
I remember that. I had those
exactly.
too.
There was the very early DVD boxes where they had a plastic latch on the right that you had to unhook.
Such an awful fucking pack.
Sure.
Fuck that.
Do you remember when DVDs used to have scenes listed like tracks on
yeah,
like a
yeah,
CD
yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like, oh, track 27. Like,
Dude,
The best was when
boy
Blu-rays
scene.
first came out, and like this is probably the most recent dated thing that I remember like vividly. Is like I just watched Frost Nixon on Blu-ray, and they have like
So
this
good.
like stupid like futuristic looking like sidebar that's like whoosh, and like BD Live.
Richard Nixon like walks out like, what scene do you want to watch?
I am chapter 10.
Dude, it's
scene.
my dad has an early DVD of 7 that he still watches that you have to flip.
I want to
You
watch
have
that. I haven't seen the first 6 though.
Yeah.
Robbie, get the fuck
I used
off
to
the
do that in my
podcast.
act.
My wife.
My wife, yeah, baby. Now I'm Dr. Evil. I'll make you sexy.
Oh my god. It's
Do mini me.
but go yeah. It's
You take the mojo, and I'll take the baby.
related.
waffles.
I'm gonna
Do you remember the quote
in
from Master of Disguise?
It's not even an exact quote. It's Dana Carvey doing Shrek as your uncle remembers
Oh,
it.
Jesus.
Why don't you get away from me, donkey? Get away from you. I'm making waffles. Like,
Oh, fuck.
Insanely, the same year both of those films get like
Yes.
Shrek came out, and in the same year Master of Disguise came out, and
It's
they're like,
crazy.
we're gonna reference a movie that probably no one in the audience has seen.
Have you
yet.
guys seen the IMDb trivia for the Master of
Oh,
Disguise?
this is the best, yeah.
It's long.
No.
Well, the trivia, the best one is they were filming on 9/11, and it said they were filming the Turtle Club scene, and Dana Carvey and the entire cast and crew observed a moment of silence before finishing the Turtle Club scene for 9/11.
That is
the
the,
turtle
funniest
outfit.
fucking
Yeah.
thing.
his bald fucking head.
Bush knocked down the towers. Turtle.
Am I not halal enough for the terrorist club?
It would be so great if Dana Carvey just got the news and just went in the shell. Oh my
boy.
god, we should do an episode on Master of Disguise. But
That would be great.
Maybe one day. But yeah, so I don't know, because that's a movie that I think of when I think of Austin Powers, to be perfectly honest.
Master of Disguise?
I mean, clearly an attempt at recreating the magic, where it's
Right.
obviously the parody is missing, but you have this highly quotable character with an accent SNL star done by like not the biggest production company on a decent sized budget. It's kind of a similar thing. And I feel like
Yeah.
we've tried this a couple times.
it's
in the last
funny
couple
because Dana Carvey is
last couple
objectively
years, I mean 20 years. I apologize.
right. Dana Carvey is objectively more talented than Mike Myers.
He's a better sketch comic.
Yeah, he's got more tricks in his bag. He's got more impressions. But it just didn't.
Sure.
There was nothing. I mean, obviously,
Well, Mike Myers is clearly just a better movie guy. I mean, he was
Yeah.
at least. Like Wayne's World and Austin Powers. Those are like that's five funny movies.
And
He's
you know what?
great
I'm
at
gonna-
writing. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
He's
gonna
great at
throw in-
writing
oh, sorry.
visual gags.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's really underrated about Mike Myers. Like a lot of the shit, the whole scene where he's naked and Elizabeth Hurley's character has her arm out and she's like playing with like a magnifying glass,
Yeah.
perfectly covering his dick. That's all practical.
Yeah.
They shot all that and they did all that in one take. That is an amazing piece of physical comedy.
Yeah. Also, it's some of the first meta gags, like looking at the camera, like Bob's Big Boy. Well, that looks like a place where you can get great quality food for not a high price.
Actually, sir, Bob's Big Boy never left.
That's really, that might be one of the first product placement gags ever.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like that now that's
Well, no, Wayne's World had
did that
Pepsi,
too. That's
yeah.
the best
Okay.
one. Yeah.
They have the really great Pepsi
but yeah,
gag.
then it became kind of overdone.
now it's cliche.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's and that is maybe
Sandler's
that's an
bringing it
issue.
back.
But maybe that's an issue with this movie where this just did a lot of this stuff first.
Yeah.
And now at this point where we're at with comedy films, as we know, comedy doesn't age particularly well.
Yeah.
Right. Broad comedy does, I think, which
Sure.
is why this works.
Yeah, I think so, too.
There's a lot. I mean, that opening sequence with Soul Bossa Nova,
So
and he's like
good.
walking. There's like a lot of really funny visual gags like, where he
Yeah.
goes off screen, immediately comes back with the marching
I love
band.
that, yeah.
And there's people backflipping across. I read a
Right.
really interesting thing where Jay Roach talks about like the visual composition of the movie, which is like an insane thing to talk about. The visual
Yeah.
composition of Austin Powers.
It's not, though.
But he makes a great point where he's like, well, if you notice, every time you see Austin, his world is primary colors. Everything is bright. Everything is like insane. And Dr. Evil is all grays and muted tones
Yeah.
and like dark reds.
It's like Taxi Driver with Travis Bickle and Albert Brooks.
Yeah, holy shit, you're right.
Yeah.
yeah.
What I'm
you're
saying is
totally
Austin
right.
Powers is better than Taxi Driver.
It's the exact same thing. Yeah, this movie is good, and it's impossible to talk about it without bringing in your own personal like attachment to it. I think just because of the age we are and who we are as people and as
Yeah.
comics and
It definitely got me when I was a kid,
Yeah.
so I'm never not gonna love it. I think you know what I mean.
You know, I do want to talk about the plot holes in this movie. I
Here
noticed
we
several.
go.
I mean, Scott's right. Why don't they just shoot Austin Powers? It makes no sense to me.
That's my favorite. That's a joke in the movie that I
Thank you.
feel like people only got. Like, I only got it watching it this time when Scott just goes, I have a gun in my room right now. I'll go get it. Why? Why does he have a gun? That's so funny.
I
think
like what
it's even funny because it's the 90s too. It's 97, so that's even more prescient of the moment.
Oh, yeah. Holy
yeah.
shit.
Sorry.
Did you know that Dylan Klebold actually watched Goldmember before he?
Yeah, Dylan, he watched Natural Born Killers and Austin Powers.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to do that.
A combination
I'm gonna
of
have
those
a gun
two
in my
things.
room right now.
The things that I miss from the later two are the commentary, on politics and etc. There's the really great line when the guy from Russian intelligence is there and he goes like, "Oh, comrade, it's nice to see you." It's like, well, the Cold War's over, Austin. We won. He's like, okay, yay, capitalism.
Yeah.
Just the kind of
No. At first he says, showed those capitalist pigs, didn't
Yeah.
we? He goes, yay, communism.
no. He says, yay, capitalism.
No,
Because-
after he finds out that they won.
okay,
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
The gag, whatever.
We both watched it together, guys. You both know how the gag went.
Okay.
No, we'll cut it right. Moves. Points. Let's talk. Somebody.
Wait, yeah. Are we
About
cutting
what?
Isaac
What do
out of
you
the
like?
podcast? I don't know.
All together. All my gags are gone.
And we're here with Austin Powers.
Hi, baby. Oh yeah, Isaac kind of looks like Austin Powers. Sorry, like, I'm better looking.
Wait a minute. In what way?
In the glasses and the lips.
Lips.
You don't have bad teeth, Isaac. Don't worry. I know what that was.
No, you don't
I know
have
what he was
bad
actually
teeth.
saying.
I do have
Isaac does have Jimmy Carter lips. Like and that's
Peanut
good. He
sucking
builds a lot of
lips?
houses. I didn't mean it in a bad way.
This is good. Roasting Isaac on a podcast.
Yeah, this
Our
is
listeners,
great. Everyone can see exactly how I look right now.
You should make it. The podcast comes with a JPEG of Isaac.
everyone, go look up Isaac Hirsch daytime nightmare
Please,
stand up.
please,
No,
listen,
do not. God damn it.
please listen to my new podcast, The Way My Friends Look. Jay Roach directed this.
Right.
I love Jay Roach. I really do. And this is kind of the thing that launched his career.
Game
Previously,
change.
he hadn't done anything. And he just, for whatever, Mike Myers just pushed for him at New Line and they gave it to him. And he's a great director. Game Change is a really good movie. I enjoyed that. He's a great director in the way that he doesn't make amazing films. They're all aggressively watchable. Like Dinner
Yeah.
for Schmucks
Dinner
is
for Schmucks
so
is good.
watchable.
I like Dinner for Schmucks. People hate that movie.
I really liked it. It's really funny. He did that the one with Will Ferrell and Zach
Campaign.
Galifianakis. Yeah, that was okay.
That was all right.
But I think Game Change came out the same year, kind of overshadowed it.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild he was doing both of those movies at the same time, but
He did Trumbo?
Trumbo was not so good. Trumbo, all I remember is Louis C.K. We were like making fun of Louis C.K. before it came out. We were just like, Jesus, Trumbo.
Yeah.
And then we watched Trumbo and he's like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
I have fucking cancer.
You can't just write for communists. You can't. Oh fuck! I'm fucking writing for. I don't know. I just like it. I like writing for communists. I don't know. I like it. You can't do that. I have a daughter. She's a communist. She's a fucking cunt.
McCarthy is a fucking asshole. He's an asshole.
Oh, I'm a fat piece of shit. Oh fuck! I shouldn't have eaten all that Red Scare. I don't know. Trumbo is Dumbo. I don't know.
Can we talk about Gold? Can we go into Goldmember a little bit, Rock? Because
Yeah,
you said it's
talk
your
about the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's Goldmember. It's going back to DVDs. My grandfather, who's he's a real mean son of a bitch, had a hard life, like just this cruel. There was a hit out on him in the 70s.
Your grandfather?
He was almost killed by a deranged employee who he fired. He's not a pleasant man. He owns 3 films on DVD. One is Man on Fire with Denzel Washington.
good choice.
One is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson. The third one is Austin Powers and Goldmember.
Wow. Does your dad just base it on who's most people can imitate, do impressions of?
I don't know.
Denzel, Mike Myers, and what was the third one? Jack Nicholson.
I don't know what my
Does he have a walk-in
Oh,
in
he's
there?
been working on those impressions for 10 years.
I just flew over this fucking cuckoo's nest.
Oh, so you've seen the movie?
I actually haven't.
Well, no, but it's like it is insane because he's not a very bright and shiny person. One of the only things that makes him laugh is Austin Powers and Goldmember.
Not the first two.
Yeah, he doesn't own them. He really likes. I think he likes the Swedish guy a lot.
Goldmember. I like gold.
Yeah.
I love gold. Yeah, what a whiff. That
Isn't
is
that weird?
the worst part of Goldmember is so forced, that character, I think.
I mean, because it is the Dieter character from SNL.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just
Mike
like
Myers-
everything else that he does.
Sandler does that too. Sandler just takes his sketch characters and makes them move whole movies around them.
Right.
It's funny because I think that these guys come from an age of comedy when it wasn't vaudeville, obviously, but it was pseudo vaudeville where you had a couple really good voices. You
Right.
could take that on the road and you can make money. You can make a career out of that. And it's in an age when you're putting stuff to film, that does not work.
I mean, that's also
Yeah.
just the SNL school of thought. Is like I'm going to show up with these characters and.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a fun thing. I watched old SNLs as I do, and there was an old Norm Macdonald Weekend Update segment with Judge Lance Ito. And Lance Ito is Mike Myers, and he comes out, and he's just like, at first he's like, "Hi, I'm Judge Lance Ito. How's it going?" It's like, so why are you doing all this media stuff? He's like, "'Cause I'm a star, baby, yeah." And he basically just it's a total dry run for Austin Powers.
That's hilarious. Oh my god, that's funny.
It's really funny. And then like all these like women come flock to him, and he's like, "I'm going to let OJ off."
That's really great that they're like, hey, Mike Myers, play this Japanese judge,
Yeah.
and you're going to use it to dry run your English character.
That's great. Does Mike Myers have a racist Japanese voice? Does
Yeah,
do one
he
of
did
those?
the Japanese game show character.
Nick,
remember?
everyone has a racist Japanese
It's actually
voice.
it's a classic SNL sketch where
does it?
Farley's like an American on a Japanese game show, and they just like keep like linking up to torture stuff. And Farley can't speak, and he's like, "Wait, what are we doing here?" And he's like, "And then we will put on the nipple clamps." And it's like, it's a very funny, but it is a racist Japanese character.
That's good.
But you know what? Racist Japanese characters are really funny, and I'm about to do one right now.
Oh, Hera!
Oh, Paul Harbor!
Every time Robbie speaks, I'm seeing the 6 clicks that I have to make to cut all of this out. Just like, okay, we're going to look at the timestamp here. Didn't
sounds
Alex
real.
Borstein used to do a really great Kim Jong-il? I mean, I know that she has like
Swan.
racist...
Swan?
Yeah, no. But she also used to do Kim Jong-il. What I guess Miss Swan is...
Oh, yeah, I tell you everything.
Oh, who do you now? That was on TV like 10 years ago. It was not that long
famous
ago.
character too. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He look
Like I said,
like
it's
a
that
what?
character.
He look like a man. He look like a man?
Mad TV was so great.
Mad TV had its issues, but I think for I guess seasons 4 through 10 with Will Sasso and Alex Borstein, it's like a really great cast of characters, and I think some of the writing trumps anything SNL put out at that era.
Well, to bring it all back, one of the best cast members of Mad TV, Michael McDonald, has maybe the best scene.
I actually think this is before he started on Mad TV. I think he started in '98, so that's really cool. There's a lot of Groundlings people in this movie, and I know for a fact that he's Groundlings Comedy Theater in Chicago. For you who don't know, it's an improv theater. Has produced a lot of really funny people. The woman who plays Frau Verbisson, her name's slipping my mind. She was like a prominent Groundlings person. What's his name? Also Groundlings?
Will Ferrell?
Yes.
No. Not Will Ferrell was too.
No, you think
I
of
thought he was
Second
UCB.
City. No. Will Ferrell was Groundlings, which is LA. Mike Myers, Second City.
You're right. I'm mixing up the
Not
two.
to be a
Groundlings is LA.
comedy nerd.
Regardless, these people are Groundlings people and they're LA people.
Right.
But who was I? Mike Myers is
Second
UCB
City.
or Second City.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Michael McDonald, though, that scene, because it also comes up, there's a deleted scene that follows. It's not in the theatrical cut when he gets killed by the steamroller.
Oh yeah, that is the funniest scene in the movie.
But do you remember the scene where like there's
cut scene?
There's a cut right after where it shows them calling his family.
No.
That is the funniest. I thought it was in the movie. I forgot that it wasn't in the movie. It's so funny. I mean, they're right. Both Tim and Nick were like, it doesn't fit the movie at all. Like
it's a weird. It's kind of dark. It's kind of a
way
dark
too dark
joke.
for the rest of the movie.
It's hilarious.
but it's brilliant. It's just so funny.
Here's my thing about that scene. I think it actually it would be, if it were in a regular James Bond film, it would be very like subversive. Like it would be incredible.
That's something only you think. Like
I think
you know what I
so.
want to see in the next Bond film? I want to see the henchman's family dealing with grief.
Yeah.
I want to see him kill a henchman in the first 5 minutes, and the rest of the movie is about them.
That would be incredly. I think it would be
It's
cool.
like a Venture Brothers thing.
It is like
Yeah.
a Venture Brothers
And
thing.
Idris Elba is James Bond in that movie.
Yeah. They get him in there for 2 minutes. Hit him with the Princess and the Frog, where he's only in it for like 5 minutes.
Isaac,
he's someone else for the rest of the time.
You need to apologize for what you said right now. Idris Elba cannot be James Bond.
Why is that, Nick?
He's not tall enough. I don't like that they kill Vanessa.
Yeah,
She's a fembot.
I actually thought that was hilarious.
That's a great gag.
What a funny thing to
where
do.
The woman who told me the value of monogamy was a fembot all along. And then he throws her fucking hand behind him and goes, "Oh, I'm single again."
That was funnier than the first one, even though the first one's like a better story.
Why?
Because it has better gags.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fat
also-
Bastard and Mini-Me are in the second one.
There are more gags in the second one too. Although I haven't seen the second one in a long time. I wonder if it would hold up.
I think it's funnier. I watched the second one recently, and it does. I mean, I think the first one definitely is the best movie, but the second one,
Right.
the second one made me laugh more. If that makes sense.
I feel like the second one's going to be more cringy than the first one.
It does have Zip It.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Those are all improv bits. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I mean,
You know what's the funniest one now is Scotty Don't. That's the one that holds up the best. Mini-Me loves chocolate. Scotty Don't. And he just like bullies Scott about not liking chocolate. And he's
Scotty doesn't know.
And then Scott goes like, I've had serious emotional issues. Scotty Don't. Anyway.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much I really liked Dr. Evil rewatching these movies. I thought that it was like going to be one of the things that didn't hold up at all.
he says
No,
it's
he's the
Lorne
funniest
Michaels.
character.
He says that character
my
is supposed to be
God.
Lorne
Yeah.
Michaels, and
It totally
From
is.
what I hear, it caused some kind of rift between him and Dana Carvey.
Yeah, because he stole the pinky thing. Because Dana Carvey did the pinky thing during his impression of Lorne Michaels.
Right.
And so he thought Mike Myers stole it.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's like such a petty. I
That's
think.
so stupid.
Yeah.
He stole the finger. He
Yeah,
stole
yeah.
the finger thing I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Dana Carvey also invented the like a few
Right.
like little things like that.
I mean, to be
Right.
fair, that is shit that Dana Carvey could have turned into another character.
But
like
not
those
as
are
good, I
bits
think.
that he could have. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's not as good. And I mean, it is. Dr. Evil's a great character, but the pinky thing is definitely one of those things you think of when you think of Dr. Evil. It's one of his trademarks.
I maintain he's the best comedy villain.
Yeah, I would say
of a
so.
comedy movie.
Yeah.
He's really
How
funny.
could you say that when Dark Helmet exists?
Jesus
Yo,
Christ.
Did you play Dark
Spaceballs.
Helmet, Isaac?
Spaceballs is a movie that I swear everyone when they're born is contractually obligated to say they like.
It's a bad movie.
It's not
I
good.
really don't find it funny.
Was
at
it
all.
May the Schwartz be? What a bad
Schwartz be with
fucking.
you.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Disclaimer: I haven't seen the movie in at least a decade,
It's
but
bad.
I remember it being funny.
So how old were you when you saw it last? You were like 12?
No, it's
14.
funny when you're a kid, but it doesn't hold up.
I mean, it's got its bits.
I
It's
bet
got its
good
moments.
gags in it. Like,
Yeah, it's weird that Spaceballs is
combing the
held in
desert.
higher esteem among nerds than Austin Powers,
right,
but
yeah.
Austin Powers I think holds up far better.
well, it's because Austin Powers was more like popular.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has more
that's what it
resonance
is.
with mainstream culture as well. I think a
Yeah.
lot of times things that parody nerd shit, especially back in the 80s,
Monty Python.
were kind of held tighter, a little bit closer because we're not going to have much
Pre-Family
more
Guy.
of this. Exactly.
Before that was mainstream.
But now we live in an era where that's just all there is.
Everything is
parodies of nerd shit. I mean, we can't escape it.
You can't skip a stone on YouTube.com without hitting one of those.
That's true. Or the second one, it does introduce a lot of the characters that you remember. There's a lot of funny gags in it. I mean, there's the shadow gag where, they're jamming the shit up his ass, or the guy thinks he's jamming stuff up his ass. Very funny.
Hilarious.
I have a thing about sight gags. I think anytime that there's a really good sight gag in a movie, it's just incredibly special. Just because it's difficult to conceptualize and then shoot and then make happen and then have it still be funny.
Absolutely. I think that's a good point.
To consistently hit the mark with these, I mean, it's an impressive movie.
And physical comedy holds up much better than like any other, isn't that weird?
Yeah, dude.
That's why Jackass is going to be funny forever.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't even think
That's
necessarily
why we all
weird.
love Jerry Lewis so much.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Well, but like it's what I said earlier. Like broad slapstick comedy is the comedy that ages. I like fuck.
Marx Brothers is
Marx Brothers are
great,
still funny.
Amazing.
Oh my
Duck
God.
Soup is hilarious.
We were just talking with the Three Stooges, of course.
Three Stooges are still funny.
Yeah, and Abbott and Costello, like all this stuff that just is still resonant with comedy today is because getting hit in the nuts is always funny. It will
Yeah.
always
And Bob
be funny.
Hope is not considered. I mean, he's not that funny.
Yeah.
Only when he swings the golf club.
Yeah.
That cracks me up.
What is that from?
He does that in his stand-up whenever he does it. He's like, I can't do Bob Hope.
I'm sorry, Bob Hope is a stand-up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did stand up for 80 years, Tim.
What the
3 point. That was a Steph Curry.
You know that if you do
Isaac.
stand up for 80 years, you get fucking 10 airports named after you in California?
Yeah, Jesus
He's like the
Christ.
biggest like USO stand-up touring act of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he do the New Year's Rockin' Eve thing? Wasn't that his
No.
thing?
No,
Dick
you're-
Clark.
Dick Clark,
Dick
baby.
Clark. Oh, dude. The later years Dick Clarks are the funniest things.
I
He's
don't know
like,
these people.
"And the balls are bouncing around."
Oh,
Like,
it
it's
was
like,
amazing.
Get this fucking corpse off.
Television.
This man's about to die.
Yeah, it was Weekend at Bernie's for the last like 6 years.
It really
now
was.
Before they
God.
finally, all right, let's bring in Seacrest. It's starting to smell.
Yeah.
Throw this out.
Yeah, but okay. We were talking about physical comedy. Somehow we got into Bob.
Well,
Weekend at Bernie's is a great example of physical comedy. I will say.
Why do people
Who's
hate
that
Jerry?
guy?
Does Jerry Lewis's physical comedy not hold up? Or is it?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It absolutely doesn't. The only good Jerry Lewis movie is oh boy.
The Day the Clown Cried. Only
Day
good
the
Jerry
Clown-
Lewis film.
King of comedy.
King of comedy. That's it.
You gotta just watch Jacques Tati. Because Jerry Lewis,
Oh my God, you're pulling out a Jacques Tati on the
You know what's a
fucking
funny
Reasonable
Jerry
Movie?
Lewis bit?
His last name sounds like titties.
One of
What
my
about when he
favorite
gets
movies
the
is
tie
Traffic.
in the wind ceiling thingy?
Look, Jacques Tati, everything Jerry Lewis does, Jacques Tati does better. That's all I'm saying.
You're right. I'm gonna give it to
Everything
you.
Lewis does, Jock Titty does better.
The original cut of Annie. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Oh my God.
is that from Annie? The fuck is that from?
No, that's just
Annie?
No, it's a show tune. That's a show tune from something.
Well, we got
Whatever.
Jerry Lewis, my
This is
friend.
so funny.
That's all.
This is three things Tim got wrong in a row. This is not making
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
okay, the three things Tim got wrong. Annie, what was the second thing?
It was Bob Hope.
Hope, and that racism is bad.
And having any of you on the podcast, primarily the only thing that I fucked up on.
Oh my God. Soup
I
Nazi-
love the Vegas shit in Austin Powers. I think that's so fun.
the Soup Nazi.
Yeah, the Vegas
with,
was fun.
with no jokes.
I recommend you hit, sir.
Yeah. You have a 5.
I also like to live dangerous. That's probably my favorite scene in the whole movie is that poker scene.
That's a really funny
Allow
gag.
myself to introduce myself.
We'll talk about 3 because I feel like we didn't talk too much about 3. We barely even talked about 2, but that's cool.
Oh wait, one more thing. The Just the Two of Us song between Mini-Me and Dr. Evil is really so fun.
There's so much about that is fun, that is so enjoyable that you need to take yourself out of anything to enjoy it because that is hilarious.
And I think the funniest, honestly, the relationship that weirdly. Oh, another hilarious one was the Jerry Springer scene at the top of the second one. That one is still so
that's
funny.
right.
I don't recall.
You're quasi-evil. You're semi-evil. You're Diet Coke evil.
Yes.
Like he goes. So basically, Jerry Springer sets up that Scott Evil's on the show, and Dr. Evil is surprised also on the show. I mean, the relationship with Dr. Evil and Scott, I think, is the funniest character relationship in the whole thing,
hilarious.
and especially when they introduced Mini-Me too, it was really funny.
Why was Seth Green so hot in the 90s? I really don't get get.
He
I
has
don't get him.
He must have a great agent.
Yeah, I guess he
Yeah.
does because he's had an amazing career. I mean, like he did a lot of work with Robot Chicken. He was like a co-creator on
He
that.
just
or
won an
something.
Emmy last year. Yeah,
Really?
It's his show. He's like the big writer. He's still in charge.
And then somehow he'll do stuff like
Family
Dads.
Guy again. Yeah.
You remember that on
Oh,
Fox?
I watched Dads.
Well, they also
Oh.
got they roped in him and Giovanni. That's so
Yeah.
sad.
Giovanni Ribisi was
yeah,
in
he
it?
was the lead
yes.
guy.
Oh, that's a fucking
Because
shame.
he was in Ted, and so him and Seth MacFarlane were friends.
Yeah, Giovanni, he's so funny.
He's great.
He's great. He's really funny.
He's a Scientologist as hell, though.
Yeah.
My friend was an extra on Dads, and he sent me one of the scripts. So if you want a script for like episode 12 of Dads, I have it.
Did it get canceled before episode 12?
No, I made it to episode 12. It actually made a full season.
It's nice because Alex Sulkin's actually a really funny writer.
Couldn't they just watch episode 12?
Okay,
I have the
we'll
script.
discuss this off mic. I have opinions on him because he was a Family Guy writer for a long time.
He runs Family Guy.
And
now.
is he the showrunner now?
He's the
Yeah.
head. He's the Seth MacFarlane of Family Guy now.
I think he needs to have a bit more filter on what he writes. I think he's hilarious,
Yeah.
and then sometimes he'll just write shit where it's just like, come on, that was not that funny.
I heard he just doesn't give a fuck about Twitter
That's
anymore.
that really what it feels like. I think
Yeah.
he just doesn't give a fuck, and I don't think that the people who write on Family Guy give a fuck because that's what that show is still really funny in the same way that Simpsons is
It
still
is,
really
yeah.
funny. Where as long as you can understand that not every joke is going to hit,
Yeah.
and that this is just the
It's
writers' room
joke dump.
throwing jokes at a wall. Exactly, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It is a joke dump.
Well, what I heard is that the guy who was in charge of Family Guy before Alex Sulkin took over was terrible, and so they put Alex in charge because they're like, we need to fucking fix this.
I mean, and it's still, and I still will go to bat for Family Guy to
Me
this
too.
day. I think it's
really funny. They cut to a live action Polly Walnuts in an episode, so I'll never not like
Oh,
it.
that's right. I remember.
My favorite Family Guy joke is a flashback, and Lois goes, "Peter, you wouldn't know your ass from a hole in the ground." And then it cuts to Peter walking by a hole, and he goes, Is that my ass?
so stupid.
And my favorite later day Simpsons joke, while we're on the topic of things most people would judge me for.
Just do the whole
for
list,
quoting.
Robbie.
Yep.
Well, these are things I'm afraid to say I like in front of hipsters. So, is Homer's in traffic, and he goes, "I hate traffic, the band and the phenomenon."
You are out of your mind if you think that hipsters are anti-Simpsons
Later
right
day
now.
Simpsons.
Later day
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
the later day Simpsons.
That's true.
Absolutely. You can't
Anything
say you
after
like
season
anything.
10.
Yeah, anything after
Oh,
season 11.
I think
or
season
so.
11 and 12 are funny.
You guys are crazy. I know people who say that 9 is the hard cutoff.
Me too. Yeah, the principal and the pauper is the big. Nope, no longer funny.
Yeah, fuck Simpsons fans, man. Like
Yeah.
anybody, this is not yours. This is not
yes.
your
Right.
thing.
I remember when the movie came out, everyone was like, "This is the worst day of my life."
Oh, the movie was all right.
Yeah,
I remember thinking it was funny.
All
I
the
remember really liking
Simpsons
it.
fans are literally just the character who like asked the question in the Itchy and Scratchy Q&A. It was just like, they hit the rib and it makes two different tones. Are we to expect this is some sort of magic xylophone?
Oh, Database. I think that's his name. That's Matt Groening's least favorite character. I was listening to
man.
a commentary and Database was on. He's like, "I fucking hate this character." He's like, "I don't know, the asteroid is coming our way."
This is so funny. I feel like this episode has kind of evolved into like just things that made us up as 12-year-olds and like 10-year-olds.
Yeah, but that's fun.
I enjoy that. And I think that there's something to be said about things that you can't admit you like anymore that
Yeah.
still have a place
Yeah.
in your heart. Do you guys have any other examples of things that like you will never admit that you like, but right now you're willing to admit it?
$1 Million Extreme presents World Peace.
Okay. It's something that's not
Yeah.
like vaguely
Robbie's like,
ethno-nationalist.
Trump, $1 million
Yeah, Mike Pence.
Scary movies for me. I
It's like
think.
that's
Yeah.
a 12-year-old movie for
Right.
sure.
Southland Tales was one actually that I
Yeah.
think Nick
we,
and I
yeah, we
bonded
love
on.
Southland.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Southland Tales
It's
too.
fun. Yeah, when it comes to comedies, there's a
Yeah,
ton.
it's a comedy. It's something that's like shameful now. Like what's something
Scary
cringy?
movie. Those movies for sure are like, I don't know if I never really watched them, but they're definitely frowned upon now.
They still kind of hit. I
No,
mean,
but you know what? The third and fourth one, when
the Zuckers took over.
The Zuckers
Or
took- those are
it wasn't-
good.
Yeah, it was just the one, but
Yeah,
they were
one-
pretty funny. And even the first two, they are just their own kind of thing. I mean, it is more like they're the Wayans brothers, so it's like sort of black focused humor. That's
Right.
just kind of the way it is. And I kind of think that there's something genius there about doing it like from a black perspective, doing a horror movie from a black perspective because of obviously the stereotypes of
Right.
it, and how just like there is this thing about black Americans' relationships to horror movies that I think is really fun to explore. I think it's something that was explored in Get Out.
Right.
And I think that I don't want to give Scary Movie too much credit, but I honestly think that the Wayans were a good choice to get that franchise started. But I do like where it went with the Zucker brothers, just being kind of silly.
I'm trying to think of something that I'm afraid to admit that I like.
Well, it's interesting because now from our childhood there are only a few things that are like culturally universally accepted. Like SpongeBob.
Sure.
Everyone our age loves SpongeBob.
Arthur.
In fact, you have to like performatively be like, I love
White
SpongeBob.
women
Harry Potter.
love SpongeBob.
Sure do. Harry Potter. is
Harry
another
Potter,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I Family Guy's probably my biggest one of like, it's like tough to say you like that. Sandler movies are a big one for me too.
Oh yeah, dude, I liked Sandy Wexler.
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it yet. But yeah,
Well, come on.
I have to tell people. I mean, even though Billy
go
Madison,
there.
I think a lot of people like it. It still is like there's a little tinge of like, come on, like you know what
Sure.
I mean? When you like, I
like-
love Billy Madison.
Dude, I liked Sandy Wexler. I liked Jack and Jill. I liked That's My Boy.
I have seen Jack and Jill about 4 times. That's My Boy is funny.
It's funny. What he keeps putting chicken nuggets in his pants. That's hilarious.
I'm putting the gauntlet down now. That's My Boy is a legitimately funny movie.
I
stand
can't
by
defend
that.
these because on the same token that I defend Family Guy as a joke dump, I cannot personally stand movie joke dumps.
Yeah.
Movies that are very clearly and that's what a lot of the Happy Madison stuff has been. Very clearly, the Happy Madison guys think of a bunch of gags. Let's get them into this movie.
Yeah.
In whatever way we really can.
Well, I mean,
and
it's
it
better.
doesn't hit.
It's better when they don't do that because then you get Click.
That's true. Right.
Click's
Oh,
good.
God,
I
they
cried.
try to make
I
a
cried at
thematically
Click.
unified movie. It's just like, oh God.
You know what? You know who? You know what was
Fuck
one?
you. I like. That's the Defenders episode.
I'm with Isaac. Click is bad.
Click is so bad.
Made me cry. Anyway. Oh shit. Anyway, this is going to be a fight going.
It's
No,
going.
I'm kidding. I get it. I don't begrudge anyone for not liking Click, but I did cry.
Yeah, he went to Beyond.
One that I remember going into at the end of high school and going into college wasn't cool to like for a while was The Lonely Island, and I think it's come back around to being
Really?
cool to
Really?
like
I don't.
again.
No. I'm with him because at a certain point it just got too big.
Right after I'm on a boat, yeah, it
Exactly.
was like not cool to like them.
When,
Oh,
when
man,
you
I
have
guess-
T-shirts being made and sold at like the boardwalk of
Yeah.
places, it's
Right.
just
Yeah.
no,
I
it's
guess
not.
I remember it being cool where I was from, even after.
Oh
I was on
yeah,
a boat.
something that I like that that I don't admit is female body inspector.
Yeah.
That's my
hilarious
big
to
thing.
me. Yeah, I just love.
Every time I see it, I laugh.
I love big dog shirts. They always I like
I
the
love
attitude.
the one where the big dog kills Bin Laden. Have you guys seen that shirt?
My favorite thing that I'm afraid to admit that I like is Sonic the Hedgehog smoking weed.
Yeah.
Honestly, Sonic in general.
Oh yeah, that's a
I feel
big
like
one. I
anime
guess.
might be a big one, right?
Sure. Oh, don't put me there.
No. Anime. You know what's weird? Anime is becoming like in vogue again.
It
Kind
is.
of like ironically,
Well,
right?
It's great
Sort of.
because I can be unhip by not liking anime now,
But it
which
blows-
is all I wanted.
It's become in vogue, I think, as a general concept, like to enjoy the art style and the anime. But like the kind of people that talk about they like anime, there's no way you're watching it right now because
Right.
the things that are happening in anime right now, as they have been for the last 5 years, just are still kind of the same bullshit tropes and just character archetypes thrown into the same situations. Nick's giving me like a hard nod, just like that's the truth. Nothing has really changed. There hasn't been like a big dramatic shift. There's been like Attack on Titan, which was like a weird crossover hit, and One Punch Man, which apparently Bill Burr
Burr.
really enjoys.
I fucking love these.
it's unbelievable.
No, I'm serious.
These 5 Ciela, you mean to tell me these 5 broads, these 5 Ciela scouts, they have no qualifications. They just get these power stunts. All right, I think we'll bring it into a wrap on Austin Powers episode that we did.
Oh my god.
Austin the Powers.
So okay, we're gonna bring it back into the Austin Powers episode that we did.
Wow, my favorite. Robbie.
We're gonna bring it back into the Austin. Can we shut the fuck up for a minute?
We need to keep these immigrants like
Can you cut-
Austin
can you cut
Powers.
this mic?
Please talk. Can you just do Dr. Evil quotes as Trump? Can't you fucking tie it?
This is
Okay.
my fucking hell.
$1
I'm not allowed out of the
billion.
recording session. I'm not allowed to stop recording. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the fucking, I guess, 4-headed critic.
We're not so different, you and I.
Listen, can you do? All right, if you do Austin Powers lines as Trump, I will let you keep doing that voice.
Yeah, gotta
He
do-
was doing that.
That's
what he's doing.
No, he's doing Dr. Evil.
Oh yeah.
Austin. Wow, this is extremely groovy, baby.
That just sounds like him. That just sounds like
know.
something he would
Wow.
say.
No, you know what? He is
I
gold
make you
member,
horny?
right? I love gold.
Okay, all right, that's it. Enough of that. 4-headed critic on Austin Powers. We're gonna go Nick, Robbie, me, Isaac, and we'll just keep fucking going. Nick, give me a word.
Austin.
Is
The
Best.
Man.
For
You. Okay.
that was an improv game.
It wasn't, yeah, it's an improv.
See how we did it all real good and sly like that? This was,
Sly Cooper.
yeah.
And the Family Stone. Are we free associating? Is that what we're doing?
Improv.
Yes, Sly Cooper and the Family Stone. Yes, thank you. Oh yes, I'm Sly. I'm a raccoon. He goes. Oh yes, I'm a genie.
Hey, what does Steve Bannon think about Sly Cooper?
Who does a
Who does Steve? Has everyone heard him speak? It's just like an ominous rumbling. It's just like hitting on a resonance too high for human
It's
ears.
just the Evil Dead soundtrack.
He sounds like the snake from the Jungle Book.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Reasonable Beef. Thanks, I guess, fucking Robbie, for being on, disrupting the recorded
plug
podcast.
anything?
Yeah, Isaac, thank you for being here. You can wait a second. And Nick, thank you for filling in. Thanks for filling in with Dom.
Isaac's gonna be like, I have a show in 2 hours tonight.
It's very clear who the glue on this show is and has been. Dom will be back next week. Plug whatever you want, guys. Robbie, do you have anything to plug?
Oh yeah, I'm doing a show in Flappers in 2 months. On May 7th. I'll be at Flapper.
Yeah,
I have
Flappers
a bunch of check RobbieGoodwin.com. I'll be on the B4chan message boards.
Yeah.
No, I won't. But wouldn't that be great? Remember 4chan? Go.
I was there today.
Really?
Yeah.
How is it?
Go? You're telling me to go?
I'm sorry.
This is my podcast. Isaac, what is your show?
I would just like people to watch the videos of me on YouTube. On my channel, I have 2 clips that I want people to view.
What's your channel, dude?
It's called Isaac Hirsch. It's my name.
Look up Isaac Hirsch Daytime TV Nightmare.
No, not that.
Isaac Hirsch.
The one on my channel.
TD you have to search TD Jake's.
No.
This is great. We're doing inside jokes on the podcast. I really love
they
that.
can go find
you
that.
can go watch it.
www.youtube.com/Isaac Hirsch. Last name spelled Hirsch. Hirsch.
Yeah, that's how you spell it.
Whatever. Nick, do you have anything to plug?
If you're a cutie pie and you follow me on Twitter, I will @ you, so you can interact with me like that.
Okay, well,
Mac
thanks
ass.
for filling in for Dom for these last 2 weeks. I appreciate it, I guess. Please, if you guys enjoyed this, go to www.patreon.com/reasonablebeef and give what you can and keep making this happen. I promise we'll be back to normal next week. See you, everybody. Have a good night. Fuck you guys. Fuck everyone in this room.
That was a great episode.